Welcome to this section on academic referencing, something that you need to do with all of your submissions. It's important that you do reference properly because plagiarism is basically passing off other people's work as your own. It is claiming that what you're writing or producing or making is yours when you've copied it from somewhere else. Plagiarism can get you into copyright law problems, and also, if you're in an academic situation, can give you issues regarding academic plagiarism, copying, which of course is not allowed. It includes anything written, anything from the internet, audio, visual media, even other people's ideas and things that you pick up from the classroom. If it's from a class presentation, then you still need to reference which part of the presentation it came from. So what is it? It means basically that whenever you use a quote from another author's work or somebody else will use their ideas in your own work, you should acknowledge that you have done so. So you acknowledge that it's come from somewhere else. Nothing wrong with using other people's ideas, thoughts, quotes, comments to support your statements, to prove that what you're saying is correct or provide evidence that maybe it's incorrect. But you still need to reference where it comes from. Why? Well, it shows the readers where your information came from. It allows the readers to identify and check your sources, shows how much research you've done, strengthens your academic argument by supporting it or disproving it, avoids you copyright issues and plagiarism, and helps you get good marks. So, why should you not do it? So, when should you reference? A reference is required when you use someone else's ideas in your own words. So you paraphrase them and just change a few bits or etc. Use a brief account of someone else's ideas. Use someone else's exact words, as in a quote, or even copy somebody's figures, tables, or structures, etc. So it's easy, really, actually. Easy if you keep accurate notes of your resources and your sources and follow the author, date, or Harvard method for referencing text. Now, what we're going to do is the most common referencing method next, and that's the Harvard method. So the Harvard method of referencing is the most common, and it's more flexible, simple, clear, and easy to use. So that's why we're covering this. 2 stages: citation or in-text referencing, and then at the end of your text, a reference list or bibliography. Now I'm only going to do the first part, the in-text referencing. Just make sure you write down all the details of the sources that you use while you're using them. Okay. How do we use the Harvard method? Pretty easy, really, on the citation or the in-text referencing. You only need to include the author's family name and the year of publication. So, according to Barnes 2018, learning languages is a substantial task for many students. Okay, fair enough, but there it is. There's our in-text reference. That then refers to a statement or the full details which would be in your bibliography at the end of your text. So all we're doing, this part 1 is talking about in-text referencing. So you could always do learning languages is a substantial task for many students. Barnes 2018. Both perfectly okay. We know it's not your words. We know who it came from. What if there's no author's name? When there isn't an author's name, but the work was published by an organisation, such as a company or university or government, you should use the name of the organisation. So somewhere there, it's got to have come from somebody or someone or an organisation. So if there's no author name, you simply put, well, according to the clever community, brackets 2021. The main way to gain cleverness is to study hard and practice, practice, practice. So there's no author name there, but it came from somebody in the clever community. If there's no author or organisation, then you can use the title instead. So how about slide 14 of the PowerPoint on week 4A 2021. So there's no organisation, no author, but we know where you got your quote from. It states that everyone can be clever if they try. What if there's no date? Gosh. If there is no date on the source, use ND. No date or not dated. So the example here, Wikipedia, no date. Okay, so we know it came from somewhere, but we don't know when it came. More than one author. So if there's more than one author, list the names of each author as they're shown in the text you're taking it from. So perhaps there were 3 authors in this example: Barnes, Peterson and Richards, 2018. Define law as, and then we go on to carry on with the quote. If there are even more authors, then it gets a little bit long, so we use the words et al, which is the Latin term for and others. So much easier there. Peterson et al. 2020. State that the adoption of a management style, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Direct quotes. So you're making a straight copy of a section of somebody's work. When you are quoting the author's own words without paraphrasing or summarizing, you should enclose their words in quotation marks, in speech marks, and then give the author, year of publication and page numbers that the quotation was taken from. So pretty easy, really. You do not need to write the word page because that just makes it a bit long. You just need to write P and then the page number. If the quotation comes from more than one page, you need to write PP and then the pages that it came from. So it is also clear that cleverness can be learned. Peterson 2021 PP pages 132 to 133. If you only want to use part of a direct quote, in this case you use a series of dots. So you're just using a piece of a quote, just like I have here. It's as though it's going to continue on. So just use the 3 dots. The skill of gaining cleverness can be difficult, ... We know now that you've edited out a piece and then you continue, and may require practice and development. And then this came from our 3 authors here, 2018, page 178. Whoops. 3 dots can also be used if you start a quote part of the way through. Okay, so there's our 3 dots. We know that something went before. The task of being clever is a substantial one for some learners. Make Me Clever 2022, page 22. We're going into the future. Web pages in the text of your assignment. So most of you will draw things from web pages. Sometimes the web page is very long, much too long. What you need to do is try to get it as short as possible so that we can at least identify the site, or perhaps a little bit more detail, perhaps the title if it's there, of the article that you're reading. Okay. And there should be somewhere on the article a date. So Make Me Clever 2020 rather than the full long technical address if it's too long. So the next part is part 2, reference lists, bibliography. So what we've been talking about is in-text referencing and citations in your text. That's what I want everybody to do, okay? The full way of doing it now is anytime you make a reference citation in your text, you then add the full details to the end of your work in a bibliography, okay, or a reference list. So a bibliography identifies books and articles relevant to the text. And that came from the British Standards Institute, BSI, in 2000, page 16, so you know where it came from. Now, part 2 is to follow, but actually the complete article is on makemeclever.com under the banner of education. So go and have a look at the rest if you want to know how to do the bibliography. Right now, you should all be citing in text references as you use articles, pieces from newspapers, books, magazines, movies. The internet is probably the most common one. So make sure you start doing all of that because it will affect your grades. Okay, good luck, have fun, stay clever.